The clips you just saw
are fragments of viral moments that have terrified millions.
A gaunt figure
On a desolate road
and a city street that
swallows a person whole.
These videos feel like scenes from a nightmare, and they spread across social media, accumulating millions of views and
frantic speculation.
However, these clips are more than just nightmare fuel. They are cases to be investigated. Today, we will peel back the layers of fear to find the truth behind the footage. The sinkhole. Imagine you are walking through a park. Maybe you are on your phone or chatting with a friend. Everything's normal. Then the ground just opens up. This viral footage, believed to be from Malaysia, shows exactly that. A massive sinkhole suddenly forms near a city park, swallowing part of the road like the earth itself is hungry. You can see two guys scrambling back, a motorcycle stopping just in the safest position. The asphalt cracks, crumbles and vanishes into dark void below. It appears there was heavy rain recently at this place, which loosened the soil, making it more vulnerable. Sinkholes are more common than you think, caused by underground erosion, water damage, or old infrastructure. But knowing the science doesn't make them less terrifying, because it means that anywhere the ground beneath your feet could just give away. The mystery hum. This one's different. Daytime, a beautiful lake in Australia, clear skies, should be peaceful, right? Instead, there's this sound. A high-pitched humming, mechanical, unnatural, like something out of a sci-fi movie. People online have speculated everything from UFO probes to secret military equipment. The people filming are clearly unnerved. They scan the sky, the water, looking for anything that explains it. Nothing. Unexplained sounds are some of the most unsettling phenomena out there, because we are wired to investigate noise, to understand it. When we can't, our brains go to dark places. What was it? We still don't know, and maybe that's for the best. The ghost woman of the highway. The footage is raw and deeply unsettling. A group of bikers riding at night on what is often claimed to be a remote road in India encounter something that feels as though it belongs in a found footage horror film. The raw footage, combined with the genuine panic in the bikers' voices, creates a deeply unsettling experience. It taps into a primal fear of the unknown, of encountering something so out of place that the brain cannot immediately categorize it. However, the almost cinematic nature of the encounter raises several questions about its authenticity. The first step in an investigation is to verify the source. The video is almost always posted with captions claiming it took place in India, often connected to local folklore. However, after extensive searches through news archives and police reports from various Indian states, there is no credible report that corroborates this specific incident. There are tragic and real stories of violence and public disturbances, but none match the events or visuals in this clip. This lack of any official documentation is a significant red flag in today's world, and even this dramatic and frightening, if real, would almost certainly generate local news coverage. The bikers would have likely gone to the police. Witnesses would have come forward for this clip. However, there is only one endless echo of it being reposted. This leads to a few possibilities. The first is that the video is an elaborate hoax staged specifically to go viral. The framing is almost too perfect, the reveal too cinematic. The second possibility is that it was a real but isolated incident involving a person experiencing a severe mental health crisis or a drug addiction. In this scenario, the individuals who filmed it chose not to record and then uploaded the footage stripped of all context to make it seem paranormal. Put simply, without any verifiable evidence, the ghost woman of the highway is almost certainly not a genuine paranormal entity. Without a single source to back it up, it cannot be confirmed as a real documented encounter either. The most likely answer is that this clip is a piece of digital folklore, a ghost story for the modern age, either expertly faked or so decontextualized that the truth has been lost. It exists now only as a viral phantom. Safari nightmare. A group of tourists are on a safari drive, cameras out, enjoying the view. Then, without warning, a leopard, one of nature's most efficient predators, launches itself into the open safari car. Chaos, screaming. The animal is on top of someone within seconds. The raw power, the speed, it's terrifying. This isn't a zoo. There's no glass between you and the wild. And in that moment, everyone in that vehicle learned a very primal lesson. We are not at the top of the food chain. Thankfully, reports say the man attacked survived with injuries, but this footage, this is nightmare fuel for anyone who ever felt safe on a wildlife tour. Nature doesn't care about your itinerary. The Paranormal Activity Office. Another clip that has circulated for many years is the footage from what is often described as a haunted office. The security camera video shows an empty office at night in which a chair appears to move on their own. For years, this has been presented as evidence of paranormal activity. Research shows that some of these exact clips have been re-uploaded since at least 2016 to new audiences. There are several plausible explanations for how these effects are achieved. The most common theory is the use of fishing line, which is difficult to see on low-resolution cameras. This would make sense, as the objects often glide smoothly in a way that is consistent with being pulled. Another possible theory is the use of video editing techniques. An editor could use composting to layer different video takes or simple jump cuts where the camera is stopped, an object is removed, and filming resumes. The edits can sometimes be spotted by watching for discontinuities in on-screen timestamps. The consensus is that these videos are not evidence of paranormal activity, but rather simple illusions that are easily replicated. We have examined a staged haunting and an authentic animal attack. If you find these sorts of investigations interesting, consider subscribing for future analysis. We will now continue with another well-known piece of footage, the birthday party hoax. Alright, let's talk about this one carefully because it's important. This clip surfaced on X showing a scared toddler at a 1994 birthday party. The person posting it claimed it showed a kidnapping in process. Here's the truth. It didn't. There is zero evidence in police records, news archives, or anywhere else that any abduction occurred at this party. This is a fabricated story designed to go viral using fear. Similar hoaxes, like the one claiming Barney the dinosaur was based on a 1930s serial killer, have been thoroughly debunked by sites like Snopes. But why does this matter in a scary video compilation? Because real fear comes from truth. Exploiting a child's image with false claims isn't creepy, it's dangerous. It spreads misinformation, traumatizes families, and distracts from actual issues. Chaos in Iran. Now, we are leaving the supernatural behind for something far more human and somehow just as terrifying. This clip surfaced on X during the Iran protest riots. What you are seeing is raw, unfiltered panic, people running, screaming, pure chaos unfolding in real time. In the middle of it all, you can hear a man yelling something in Persian, his voice cutting through the noise like a warning sign. You don't need to speak the language to understand the urgency, the fear. This is the kind of footage that reminds us sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts or monsters. Sometimes it's just the world we live in, the unpredictability, the sudden eruption of violence in places where people were just living their lives. The horror here isn't just what you see, it's what you don't see. What happened next? Did everyone make it out? We don't know, and maybe that's what makes it so haunting. The RATMAN. Alright, buckle up, because this next one, I don't even have words for it. Rare footage, supposedly from somewhere in Eastern Europe or Asia. The exact location is disputed. Shows a group of men talking to the creature and dragging a woman towards the hole. It appears she's being fed to something coming out of a sewer. At first, you might think it's a stray dog, a cat, something normal. But then you see it, a figure, humanoid, pale, moving in a way that's just wrong. People online have dubbed it the RATMAN or some kind of SCP. It reaches up from the darkness, takes the food, and retreats back into the sewer like some kind of cryptid from urban legend. Now, is it real? Could be a person with a condition, someone experiencing homelessness in the worst possible circumstances. Could be a hoax, someone in a costume designed to go viral. But that doesn't make it any less disturbing to watch, because somewhere in the back of your mind a voice whispers, what if it's not the tornado at the window? The clip is often shared without its original context. The authenticity of the tornado is not in question. Rather, the story behind the footage is what is often missing. My investigation confirmed the events depicted. The footage is from an EF4 tornado that struck Fairdale, Illinois, 2015. The man filming, who was in his 80s, took shelter with his wife as the storm destroyed their home. According to news archives from outlets like the Chicago Tribune, the man who filmed the video survived. but his wife did not. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration also has records detailing the storm. This context transforms the video from a simple scary clip into a historical document of a natural disaster and a personal tragedy. The circulation of the video raises questions about how such content is consumed and shared, often detached from the human element as its core. This footage is not entertainment, it is evidence of a real event. Something was already sitting with her. Security cameras were designed to catch intruders, burglars, threats you can see. But what happens when the threat is something you can't? The final video you're about to watch was posted on r/creepy videos few months ago. The user has deleted their account. The footage still up. The explanation nowhere to be found. Watch carefully, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. This is a home security camera, motion activated, mounted high in the corner of what appears to be a dining room, a couch off to the right, a door to the left. It's probably 3 in the morning. At first, everything looks completely normal. A woman walks in. She pulls out a chair at the dining table and she just sits down. She doesn't turn on the light. She doesn't grab her phone. She doesn't pour herself a glass of water. She just sits completely still, head slightly bowed. Now, maybe she is sleepwalking. Maybe she couldn't sleep. Maybe there's a completely reasonable explanation for all of this. Maybe. And then she slowly raises both hands and places them flat on the dining table. Like a ritual. Like she's been told to. Like something instructed her to do it. And few moments after, her hands touch that table. All 3 empty chairs move at once. Not one at a time. Not gradually. Simultaneously. Like 3 invisible hands reach out and pull them back in a single deliberate motion. Look at that again. All 3, same instant, same force, the kind of coordinated movement that doesn't happen by accident, the kind that suggests something or several somethings were already seated there, already waiting, and she still doesn't react. Hands flat on the table, head down, not a flinch, not a breath, like she called them there. Then something on the table moves. An object hard to make out from the night vision gets pushed slowly, steadily towards her, like something is sliding it across the table as an offering. Still, she doesn't move. Head still down, hand still planted, completely absent, like her body is still there, but she is somewhere else entirely. The people in the Reddit thread started saying she's sleepwalking or it's the devil, and that is when the camera moves. The motion sensor picks up something near the couch, panning on the right side of the room, and the camera snaps to it. There's no one there, but look at the floor, right there, beside the couch. The dark shape stretching across the floorboards. That's a shadow. A shadow being cast by nothing. Nothing visible. Nothing the camera can see. But something is standing there. Something solid enough to block the light. Something real enough to have a shape. And then, whatever it is, moves. Because the shadow shifts, stretches, and then vanishes. Like it knew it had been seen. Like it stepped back into whatever it came from. Half a second After that shadow moves, the door beside the dining table opens and slams shut hard, violent way. The kind of force you feel in your chest, not a draft, not a loose hinge. That was a kick. That was something with weight and intent, throwing that door shut. Look at that speed of it. Look at the way the frame shudders. Whatever was casting the shadow near the couch, it crossed the room so quickly that you never saw it move. And then, just like that, she lifts her head. The woman blinks, looks left, looks right, looks around the room like someone who just woke up from a dream and doesn't quite know where they are yet. She looks at the three old chairs around her. She looks at her own hands still resting on the table, and she stares at them like she doesn't remember putting them there, like she wasn't there for any of it. The post exploded. Thousands of comments within hours. Some people said it's the devil himself, and then, of course, the skeptics saying it's fake, and this family faked all their paranormal activity. And look, maybe they're right. Maybe it's all fake. Maybe it's a very talented production with a very patient actress and a very clever rig. But here's what nobody could explain. The shadow. No one in that thread. Not the debunkers. Not the skeptics. Not the people with engineering degrees mapping out the chair angles. Nobody explained that shadow on the floor by the couch. No light source in the room that could produce it. No object that could cast that shape. No person visible anywhere near it. Just a shadow. The original poster never responded to any comments. Never confirmed. Never denied. Just gone. What do you think you're looking at?
Demon? Poltergeist?
Or something that took a lot of fishing wire and a very dark sense of humor? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And maybe don't watch this one alone at 3 a.m. The internet contains a mixture of hoaxes, misinformation, and out of context truths. The truth behind these clips is often more complex than their presentation suggests. Whether the explanation is a business model, a simple illusion, or a documented tragedy, there is almost always
a story that requires closer examination.